Good morning. Welcome to the Java Cafe, Java fam.
Good morning, everybody. Ooh, got a decent voice this morning. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. Today is March 11th, 2024, and you are here in the Java Cafe. It is Women's History Month, and we are here with two wonderful queens. A king is going to join us as well, but I am very, very, very excited this morning to have all three of my guests with us. I'm going to go in the order of how long I've known each of them. I think Hector, I've known since my days at Roxbury Youth Works. Denella, I met at Demick Community Health Center. Aisha, I don't even really remember. Dr. Miller. I really don't even remember where we met, but it's been some years. But between the four of us, I would say we're capping, well, not even capping. I would say we're at least at minimum between the four of us about 50 years of friendship and being in community and work. And so it is awesome. This morning, we're getting ready to talk about the Champions event that Boston Arts Academy Foundation is doing. I have seen Denella just excel and ascend in many different places. And I remember I was thinking about the show last night, and I remember a conversation when she transitioned from Demick. And I don't know if she remembers, and she may laugh in the background, but her and Jackie Jenkins Scott, who was at Demick at the time, they had a convo about what Denella's requirements were to go to that next position. And she's been climbing and doing it ever since. And Dr. Miller just is doing everything. And Hector's going to be with us hopefully in a few minutes. But without further ado, and I'm going to bring Dr. Miller in first, just because we have about 15 seconds of some personal business, because it's taken 4 years.
Yeah.
4 years for you to come in here. The mayor's fireworks task force and all this other stuff, and we would do, and you know, we brother and sister and had brother and sister times, but 4 years. I just need to say that before we bring Denella in. And I wish this was after dark. I wish this was not business, because you and I.
Maybe I'll come back after dark.
Yes, and I got to give it up for the red glasses. I got to give it up for the red glasses.
Oh man, I can't see nothing anymore. Everything's a blur.
Wait a minute. So are yours readers still, or had
They're
you
readers?
Oh, I tried to do readers for about 4 years, and I had to break down. Once I hit 2.5, I was like, oh yeah, I need to go see a optometrist or whatever the eye doctor is, ophthalmologist. All right, let's get over our stuff. But Aisha, so Dr. Miller, because I think it's important to just recognize the achievements that our queens make, especially in this month, but every month. And so without further ado, I would also like to bring in Denella Clark, who I have known for many years. And Denella, you have just, I mean, you're just out there doing it when it comes to raising money and when it comes to resources for our young people and community, and just period, you're out there doing it. And so I'm really proud of both of you. I'm excited to have you here. Denella, there's I won't mess with you because on the other end, we've talked about coming on and talking. It's more than my fault. But Dr. Miller, you know, we're so glad to have you here finally. And the reason we have you here, and so let me give both of you at least the opportunity to greet the audience. I'll start with Dr. Miller and then go with Denella, and then Denella, you can give us sort of some context of why we're here today and some things you're working on. So Dr. Miller, please greet the people 4 years later. Please greet the Java family and say good morning.
So, good morning, everyone. But I had an interesting weekend, and it was kind of painful a little bit, a little shocking. So I have to say that my hope is built on nothing less than Jesus Christ, my righteousness. I dare not trust the sweetest frame, but wholly lean on Jesus' name. On Christ, the solid rock I stand. The ground is sinking sand. And I have to say that I'm thankful, very thankful to be here this morning. It has taken some time. We do fight like brothers and sisters, but I am very proud of how you have ascended into this space. And one thing I've learned through this journey of city government is you have to be thankful for the people that God places in your life, and you have to always say in person, "I'm happy for you. because when you don't do that and you stay behind and not express what the good work people are doing, then you do look like a hater. And so I have no hateration in my game. And I just think, your space, your Java with Jimmy, and I know you joke with me. I know you want to call me Aisha Johnson. No, Johnson. I know you do. It's all good.
AJ to get it right.
Everybody does it. So cool. I still got my friend. They call me AJ all the time. I don't think nothing of it. But I just wanted to begin by saying that because life is short, and I'm just thankful to be here. Thankful for the space. Thankful to be able to be here with my good sister Denella Clark this morning, and waiting for Hector as he makes his way. And just want to say hi to all your followers, your folks out there that tune into Java with Jimmy every morning. I catch it sometimes in the morning. I try to catch it as much as I can. So thank you, Michelle. Thank you.
First of all, let me just jump in, and I think Denella, or we're going to try to stay focused, but the relationship that all of us have, and so AJ, thank you so much for that, and we are going to have to get you back after dark, and I'll be going in person soon. That's a whole different energy. You really come into the Java Cafe. But Denella, good morning. Thank you for your patience with us, and we have our own thing, as well. And so please say good morning to the folks and greet them, and then go into why we're here this morning, and tell us a little bit also about the Boston Arts Academy Foundation, all the wonderful work. We can see some of the work that's going on there with the new edifice. I think it's about 3, 4, maybe 5 years old. I'm getting old, but please greet the people and do all of that for us.
Good morning, Jimmy. Good morning, Dr. Miller. I am so happy to be with you all and to be in community. And I joined Dr. Miller, James, and just acknowledging your brilliance, your greatness, how this started out of COVID, and just to see you everywhere. Yesterday, one of my board members invited me to the Ellie Fund Gala, and I couldn't go because my latest grandbaby, who bears my middle name, turned 1. But I was so excited to see that you were on the lineup for that, and I know that you just crushed it. So I'm looking forward to asking Raina later how you did, but I was really sorry to miss it. I'm sure it was great. So thank you. So Boston Arts Academy Foundation supports what I call the Fame School of Boston. Boston Arts Academy is the city's only public high school for the visual and performing arts. And we are 26 years young. This is actually only our second year, James, in the new building. We were very, very fortunate under the tremendous leadership of our former mayor, Mayor Walsh, former Secretary of Labor. He really led the effort to secure Boston Arts Academy a new building. And I'm also proud that our current mayor, Michelle Wu, we are in this $35 million fundraising campaign that, again, started under the tremendous leadership of Marty Walsh. And we have about $10 million to go. The campaign will end June 30th, 2025, and we are extremely grateful to Mayor Michelle Wu, who's going to finish that campaign. Many of you know that she loves the arts. I think she's the first mayor to bring a piano into City Hall. Mm-hmm. But every year for the past 8 years, we have an event where our students do either a winter musical, now it's moved to the spring, or Broadway production. So over the years, we've done The Wiz. Last year, we did Shrek. And this year, we're doing a tribute to the life and legacy of the great Tina Turner. I was really happy because I made that request to the school, and I was happy that they honored that. So historically, every year for the last 8 years, we select 1 or 2 champions, really civic giants who are doing the work in the city of Boston and beyond that really care about our community. Over the years, I don't mind telling you, Jimmy, that historically we have honored politicians. So we've honored Marty Walsh. We honored now Governor Healy when she was Attorney General. Mm-hmm. Of course, my sister, our Congresswoman Ayanna Pressley. We also honored former First Lady Diane Patrick, who many people don't know was a teacher, One year we honored Maristella Rappo, who has an organization called Giving the Glam. She helps our kids with prom gowns and tuxedos, brand new, by the way. So shout out to Maristella, and we've honored Governor Baker. But this year, as we really thought about it, we really thought about our community and who's doing the work, who's really a representation. Many people know that Boston Arts Academy is heavy Latinx students as well as African American students. And Hector Piña, we're very fortunate. I know he's on his way back from hanging out with David Ortiz in Dominican Republic. So if he get here, I know that he was away this weekend in the DR. But we looked around, and Hector is on our board of directors. We're so grateful for his service. But as I looked around and thought about it, I said, we have two people who have done the work. They may not be senator this or representative that or mayor this, but who have really done the work, who really embody the students of Boston Arts Academy. So we could have thought of no better two civic giants and champions than that of Aisha and Hector. So we're excited for next week, Thursday, March 21st, opening night. We are sold out. We do have room for you, of course, Jimmy, to come and cover it, but I'm just thrilled that we are sold out. And the outpouring, if you follow us on social media, I mean, we have a tribute from Pastor Dickerson for Aisha. We have a message from Marty Walsh, Hector Piña. We have a message from, I see you, Bishop. We have a tribute from Big Papi saying when he came to Boston, how Hector was the first person he met, from former Mayor Danny Rivera from Lawrence. So it's just going to be a tremendous show, and just really two good people. So we hope that, while you may not be able to get to the Champions reception, we still have room in the 500-seat Boston Arts Academy Theater for you to see the show. And you'll have an opportunity to engage with Dr. Miller and Hector Piña at that time.
Absolutely. Dr. Miller, I would not have you here, and Denella went into it a little bit, but we've observed you, through the years being in community, and you're in spaces now. You've served in city government, and you're in spaces now where you have a lot of influence. And some years ago, if folks would have asked you if you would have thought you would have been a VP in and if I have it right, a construction or development type of company, like, give us a little bit, save some for kind of our one-on-one, but give us just a teeny bit of your journey, because I think it's important for folks to understand, and Danella's going to go into it more because I know you don't toot your own horn, but just a little bit of your journey to where you arrived at this point to have so much influence, from still helping in community, sitting out at Juneteenth at the table with the little grill with the burgers representing.
That I burnt.
I didn't know you.
I burnt some of them. But I redeemed myself later.
But give
I'm
us
the best cook.
Absolutely. Listen, and we're both foodies, so we got a lot to talk about. But give us a little bit of your journey, Dr. Miller. In you're from Boston, and just we see you very active politically and in community, and just tell us a little bit about who you are.
Wow. So I honestly got into like this politic world by accident. Senator Hart, he was like, why don't you come help me out? And I did. And he was very instrumental in getting me into the State House, and ended up with a job with Shirley Owens Hicks, Representative Shirley Owens Hicks. Moved on to Senator Wilkerson. Shirley retired, then moved on with Senator Wilkerson, and then left there and became a probation officer. And Sal DeMacy was very helpful in getting me into that position, giving me a recommendation. And so I was in my 6th year of being a PO. Leon Graves, who's a close friend, was like, my friend's running for mayor. And I was like, yeah, nah, I'm not. So he said, no, you need to help me. This guy, I'm telling you, he's on point. I said, yeah. So I went and met him. And then I guess I wasn't really moving quick enough for him. So Marty called me and said, hey, Marty Walsh here. And I was like, what? He's like, I need your help. And that was the day before Easter. And I helped, got on his campaign, and then he won. And so one of the things when I first entered, because I'm transitioning from being a PO, so you're a little hardcore, a little bit, into government where you got to be a little easy does it, but still hardcore. He instilled in all of us to be driven by passion and purpose on the things that you do. So when I think about being a champion, it's almost like, a champion for people doesn't mean it's fame and attention.
Yep.
If someone's down on their luck, you're supposed to, you help them and then you move on. Every time someone asks me for my help, I always tell them, keep it to yourself.
Yep.
You don't have to tell anybody. You don't have to put me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. I'm not going to put you on Twitter, Instagram, or whatever the case may be, because I really feel like what motivates me is the action in the end product of what happens with that person. And I don't believe in, telling everything that I do for folks. God will tell it in his own way. I don't need to say anything about what I do. Have I helped a lot of people? I have. Do some people appreciate it? Of course. But I think, working in government, you have to work in government because you care about people, not
That's
about
right.
yourself.
Yes, ma'am.
When you utilize that title of being a government official and you're helping folks, because they lean on you to help, whether it's fixing their road or fixing their trash pickup or their elderly mother can't get out of bed. I remember Beefy Cousins, Coach B from the Dorchester Eagles, called me one Sunday morning, and I'm trying to fix dinner. He said, I need you to come over with me to help this lady, because no one was calling him back. And so I went over and helped her. And I told the guy, don't put me on Facebook. You don't have to think me out loud. Her being able to go back into her seat and get up and talk, who was not speaking at all when I got there, is a blessing enough.
Yes, ma'am.
And I have to give a shout out to my Bishop Dickerson, because he's praying for me whether I ask or not. And I know through his prayers and my mother's prayers has gotten me through to this point in my life, and having good friends. Now, I know you guys spoke about Marty Walsh, but Marty Walsh is a friend, a true friend. And he checks on me. Even I don't care where he is. One time that man called me from London because I called him. I didn't know he was away. And he was like, are you okay? I was like, where are you? He's like, London. I said, why you call me back? Oh, I just want to make sure he was okay. That's a friend. Like,
yes, ma'am.
So when you think about my journey and all the people that I've come in contact with on this journey, God put them in places in my life so I can learn from them and excel. And so I just think when people are doing things, and if I say nothing else for the rest of your segment, when people are doing things for others, when you're in city government and you take on the role to work in city government, you're not doing it for you.
Yes.
You're doing it for other people. The flashing on Twitter and Facebook, it doesn't matter. If someone's down, do you think they honestly want to be flashed on Facebook because you gave them a turkey or you gave them a gift card? No one wants to, they don't want to see that. Do it out of the kindness of your heart and knowing that your good work will be exalted by other people. And that's just how I see things. That's how I see it.
One thing about Dr. Miller is you never have to wonder what she's thinking. And we're getting a little bit reserved on the framing of the topic that she's talking about, but I wanted folks to hear from you because you're not that public. When you do need to be, you are, especially in a political space. But I thought it was important for folks to get a glimpse of you and who you are, and correlate. And Denella, please jump in here and tell us, in addition, Aisha well. And I do as well. And she's not that flashy type. Does it when she does post, does it? But when you thought about her, what bullets came to mind? What thoughts came to mind in reference to centering her as one of the champions?
everything that she said. So, and I'm like Aisha, if I can help somebody, my living will not be in vain.
Y'all trying to have church up here this morning.
Let me tell you, Jimmy, I go places now. I ran into a woman the other day and she talked about our time at Demick. She said, you may not remember me, but I was in Umis. And I remember you came over with Pfizer and bought a $50,000 check. Umis is a program at Demick where you have women who have HIV, behavioral health, substance abuse, and are moms. A couple months ago, I was telling our head of school, Tyrone Sutton, I was at Walmart, and this young girl came up to me and said, Miss, that's what they call it, Miss. And she bought her boss over and she said, I'm so-and-so, and I'm a senior at Boston Arts Academy. Can we take a selfie? And then brought me over and introduced me to her boss. So I've lived a life of servant. I'm a servant leader. So iron sharpens iron. We recognize other people. And because I know Aisha and talk to her sometimes on a daily basis, I've seen the work that she's done for community. I've seen, as she said, sometimes people are grateful. Sometimes people are not grateful. Sometimes people don't express those two words, thank you. But I know the work that she does. I know when somebody, recently, even in her role, she didn't answer you, Jimmy, but around how she got to Related Beal, somebody needed something, a family was burnt out. You could have found this woman at South Shore Plaza buying clothes, pots and pans, whatever this family needed. So I've seen the work that she has done, as well as Hector, the unsung things, the things that never get noticed, that no one else sees. And when I asked her to honor her,
what is she? I don't know if you're able to say exactly what she said to you, but give us the candid version.
Oh, yeah. She was sort of like why, but I'll tell you, she is a sister friend. So she also is sometimes, when we do talk about our elected leaders, she's like, why are we honoring them? Like, who's really doing the work? And sometimes, as I said, you may not have the title of city councilor this or city councilor that, but to her point, we're almost of the same. I turn 56 next Monday. I won't tell her age, but she's knocking on the door of 50.
Not 56, but I'm knocking on the door of 50.
50, right. So sometimes I think about, Jimmy, some of our former politicians, and I bring back some of those heroes, because you didn't see them flashing and flossing, pimping and profiling. You saw them just doing the work. You just heard about them just doing the work. And oftentimes I just think that we don't see that today. And as Dr. Miller said, the people who are doing the work will get exalted, will actually get the recognition. People see you and understand. And I have to tell you, as I said before, this is a fundraiser for us. Normally, Jimmy, we raise $100,000. This isn't our big event. We've already doubled what we've ever raised. Whether or not you're a Joyce Linehan and you're like, I just want one ticket for Aisha, when you talk about Chief Dion Irish and some of the other people that she labored with, when you talk about community people, same thing for Hector, the outpouring of support. I keep saying to my staff, we're going to have BPD there, because I'm a little worried that some folks who didn't get their ticket and are just, realizing, because we're already sold out. I have to keep saying that we are sold out. And but the outpouring of support just tells you, and unlike some, if I'm keeping it 100, not one person has said, why are you honoring them?
I mean, when you saw that, it was like a no-brainer. It's more of why not?
Right. Exactly.
So let me just put this up here in case anybody tunes in and hears us talking about it, just so they know, because I heard you say it a couple of times. The Champions event is sold out. So just don't go bothering Denella. Don't try to hit up Dr. Miller. I just want to come and support you. Can you just ask? And can you see? It's sold out. And so I do want to allow, at least for a few moments, knowing Brother Hector and then where he's coming from. And then, there's flights and stuff, and I'm really just playing. But can you just for a few minutes highlight? I can speak a little bit to knowing Hector for years. Anytime as a nonprofit, you go to him, And he has his pricing as a corporation and as a restaurant. And then you tell him what the budget is. And then Hector, he works it in and he makes it work. And it's always excellent. He was one of my first events back in the days at Roxbury Youth Works. We did our annual meeting at Goodwill. And he came, and I mean, it was just excellent. And so I know about his contribution in that space. But what are some other spaces in which you know of him contributing in community, just so we can highlight him, though he's not here? We still have to give him his flowers as well.
Absolutely. You know, I knew Hector before I'm in the role that I'm in now at Boston Arts Academy Foundation. But I could remember even being at Demick and we needed food for our Women's Health Forum, and he just donated the food. I met a family a couple years ago who told me the same thing. They were down and out, and Hector bought food. So, and even the work that he does, as I said, he is a member of our board of directors. We have a high Latinx population within the school, but same thing for our 25th anniversary, our alumni network wanted to have a homecoming event. He and Nivea, no question asked, donated all of the food for 200 people. The time that he just sits and spends pouring into the community. If you listen to what Alberto Vasallo said about him, Danny Rivera, former Mayor Rivera, the great Big Papi, you listen to what people have to say, and you know that he is a true humanitarian. When you think about, I always say a lot of people don't understand when we talk about fundraising. It's not just fundraising, it's philanthropy. And if you look up philanthropy, the meaning of philanthropy is the love of humankind. And so both Hector and Aisha really.
Sorry, I just got it. Brotherly love.
Yep, brotherly love. That is the meaning of philanthropy. You don't have to give $1 million. You don't have to give $1,000. It's really showing love to humankind. It could be in kind. It's the small acts, good deeds that Dr. Miller talked about. That's Hector Piña. He's not running around telling people. In fact, he's not on social media. Hector is only on LinkedIn. He's not running around telling people, this is what I've did. This is how I've donated. You know, Hector, I believe, is 60 now. So if you look at boards that he served on, the time, the talent, the treasure, the testimony, again, somebody that is just so deserving. So we're thrilled. We are really thrilled and excited. And the students are excited. You know, I got to tell people, so even though Champions are sold out, there will be a performance on Friday. The tickets, don't quote me, but I believe the general admission tickets are $15 or $20. So you could see the show on Friday, March 22nd, and you could see the show twice. If you go to www.bostonartsacademy.org, and there's a matinee on Saturday the 23rd and another performance Saturday evening. So we wanted to make sure that this tribute to Tina Turner is open to everybody. So if you miss opening night, please go by the school right there in the Fenway, 174 Ipswich Street. There's 3 more shows, Friday night and 2 on Saturday, because our students are amazing. And you're going to sit there and you're going to say, wait, is this a high school? Yeah, we have 3 different Tinas. It's just, I went to rehearsal last week, Jimmy. You're going to get a little church, some gospel, some rock and roll, some dancing, high energy. It's just going to be an amazing show. And all the money that's raised from, we raised the money really to put on the show, to buy the costumes, all of that. And then the other thing that we're doing is we're using that evening to kick off our Boston Arts Academy Class of 2024 scholarship campaign.
Okay.
Yeah.
None of this really about both of you surprises me in reference to the things, Denella, that you have done, and Aisha as well. I mean, I know you and see you in community, and so it's we're here for business, and so we'll stick to that. But there were a lot of touch points that both of you hit on in reference to the importance of being a servant leader, the importance of what's done in the dark shall be brought to light. And a lot of people think that is always just negative. If you're sneaking around somewhere and doing something, no, what you do in the dark to help people is going to be brought to the light as well. And like both of you, those times where if I can be 100, you honestly forget. And people will come and they'll say, you did such and such. And in the moment, you're like, oh, yeah. And to be truthful, you go back to the car and you're like, and then it hits you and you're like, because it's a natural sort of thing to just want to help. You know what I mean? And so all of you in your ways, folks in the comments, please, salute them and love on them. Folks on Instagram, Angelina.
Yeah.
She sent the email asking about the tickets sold out. But Sister Angelina, she gets it in.
They're not sold out for the show though.
For the show.
You could still get in we're at capacity at the House of Blues, but you could definitely still get in
for the Tina Turner show.
For the Tina Turner show on Thursday night. There are a few tickets left, not many. And then you could definitely see the show Friday and Saturday. But if you want to see Dr. Miller, Thursday.
Those tickets are sold out.
Thursday, March 21st.
Okay.
No, you'll get to see her in the theater. You just won't get to see her in the House of Blues. Yeah.
And if I might add,
Dr. Miller, please, you can add whatever you want. This is your show.
I just want to say that it's very important that we recognize arts and culture. I think that when former Mayor Marty Walsh, he created the Arts and Culture Cabinet, was the first ever that I know of, and then it continued on after the department's still there, and Mayor Wu has made it her own. And I think people have to understand that each mayor does something to create their own legacy.
Yep.
And so my good friend Marty Walsh has done that. And then we go on to now we're with Michelle Wu, Mayor Wu, and she's creating her own legacy and continuing with arts and culture. I think that we as Black and brown children, Black and brown kids, we're not afforded the arts as white kids. I went to school in Brookline. I played the clarinet, the bass clarinet, was in the band, and was afforded those opportunities. I played the clarinet from the 4th grade to my senior year in high school. And to think about when you're growing up and you take a hairbrush and start singing in it, mimicking Whitney Houston or whoever's out there. I mean, we were singing like we were like going to get a record deal. And we think about kids who go in studios and they're doing they're rapping in studios and tracking music and all those things. And we make it sometimes we think of it as negative. Why are they in a studio? Everybody can't be a rapper. Well, sometimes you're expressing yourself through those avenues, and going through COVID and kids not being able to express themselves, being social, being around their peers, music probably saved a lot of people's lives. Growing up, your mother played WILD in the morning, old school music while she was cleaning her house.
I was just going to say that was
what motivates you to do something.
Yes,
motivates you to get it done. And so we have to really deep dive into our historical, cultural content when we think about music. Black people have been jamming for a very long time and have created spaces for us to feel good about ourselves, even in gospel music.
Jamming, dancing, acting, photographing,
all of it.
Fashion design. Boston Arts Academy, only high school that actually teaches fashion design. On our board is the only Black woman to have 2 Oscars, Ruth Carter. So this school is a full school for arts and culture. I wouldn't want anyone to leave. We're not just music, and I appreciate Dr. Miller saying arts and culture, but we take the kid that can't not dance, that can't stop drawing, that wants to act, that wants to take photography, longest school day of a high school, college preparatory, academic blind. Go talk to Senator Diane Wilkerson, her grandson. We launched a program last year, Jimmy, a multimedia engineering program, MEP, certified by the state, because a lot of people don't want to be in the front of the stage, but there's money to be made backstage in the arts. And just to piggyback a little into what Dr. Miller said about pouring in an investment, I would be remiss if I didn't thank everybody out there that was listening, whether you bought a ticket for $125, whether you sponsored at $1,000, whether you said, I can't come, but here's a $50 donation. Please know that your donation makes that difference. The Boston Arts Academy Foundation keeps the arts in Boston Arts Academy. When the school was founded, we love our founders, all of the pro arts colleges. We love our beloved Mayor Menino. But Menino said, well, we're not sure. This is an experiment. We're not sure if this is going to work. So we'll give you all a building and we'll fund the academics. So if you said to me, Jimmy, you're raising all this money, Denella, what is it for? It is to pay arts teachers, to buy supplies and equipment, costumes, all of that, college scholarships, summer experiences, and really to make that difference that other kids don't have the opportunity. I often say that talent is evenly distributed, opportunity is not.
Thank you, Denella, for that, because there's so much that Dr. Miller was getting ready to tap into, because there's so much that fights our young people, that fights women. Dr. Miller, you touched a little bit on COVID, and I know I keep wanting to say Dr. Clark, but Denella jumped in and make sure that we are aware of everything that Boston Arts Academy does. But with Boston Arts Academy, Dr. Miller, with the arts, with fashion, with servitude, what are those things? And I'll get ready to let you guys go here. But again, like Denella, I would be remiss in this opportunity of allowing you. And we're gonna stay on here just a couple of extra seconds, because guess who made it in, Jesus, all the way from hold on, we got sound effects over here.
Oh,
Hector, what's up, Bobby?
My friend, oh my goodness, we know each other for a long time. That's so nice to see you,
Hector. When did you get the gray there?
I know.
Hector, I told Jimmy and his fans that I know that you was down in Dominican Republic this weekend, so I didn't know if you made it back.
With Big Bobby.
I just made it back, and just excited to be here with my old friend Jimmy and see you guys.
So Hector, we're getting ready to wrap up, but we did share some flowers with you. I shared my first experience with you. Denella did as well. And so we do at least want to offer you the opportunity. And Dr. Miller, will end with you on that point that I was getting ready to get to. But Hector, if you could just tell us, with all that's going on in the hospitality industry, with all that, with prices skyrocketing and the, turnover with staff and whatnot, what is it that still causes you to champion and be a servant? Denella referred to donations. You open up your space for community events and whatnot. What is it, sir, that keeps you in this space of giving, though you give out so much in other spaces? If you could tell us, we would really appreciate it.
I think it's the community base we have. We have such a loyal clientele that we have seen like generations of the same family to come to our restaurants. Merengue is going to be 30 years old this year in August. So you can imagine the roots that we have in Roxbury. The people that we knew that were adults back there, now they like grandpas and grandmas. And we just sit down and talk about the past and all of that. So we have such a loyal clientele that we are more than blessed to be in the restaurant, talk to the people, and it's been challenging. You're
Yes, sir.
totally right. I have never seen it like this, but we somehow were able to stay open, and we stay in business.
It is definitely a staple within our community, and in hearing you say that we were able to stay open and stay in business, I think that speaks to the fact of your commitment to making sure employees kept a paycheck, and also feeding the community. And so, Hector, I really, when I saw who was being honored, and Denella and I first talked about this, it was a no-brainer. I've known you and Dr. Miller, for some years. And so thank you. I know you probably need to get ready to catch up on some rest and get settled. Next time you talk to Big Poppy, tell him we said hello. But Hector, thank you for all you do, because like Dr. Miller, personally, I know, excuse Alexa, we're a little bit over time, and they reminded me for the next coming up appointment. Alexa, cancel. Sorry. But it was so worth it, because I just really think it's important to highlight those in our community that are giving back, that are having impact. Y'all know that is my word. And Hector, along than having impacts that settles in our guts, that tastes very good. You don't want to hit me too mufungo. The impact beyond the restaurant, the impact beyond the kitchen, and Dr. Miller, the impact beyond the boardroom and everything that you do. And so, Hector, I'll allow you a couple of seconds to just maybe close out, and then we're going to go back to something Dr. Miller is going to close on, and then we'll move on from there. Hector.
I'm just honored and humbled to receive this award from the Boston Arts Academy Foundation. That is an organization that makes the difference in so many young lives. Kids that want to be, artists, dancers, and that's the only way to get it. I think that way we kind of leave a legacy. The leadership of Denella.
Hector's on a phone. Hector, hit the unmute button. I know you may have a signal issue. I just applaud the fact that he was able to make it here, because if I just came in, I'd be sending a text. So I'm sorry.
Yeah.
All right, Hector, thank you. We appreciate. Stay there. Don't go anywhere. Dr. Miller, just in general to close us out, can you speak to the importance of staying focused, a servant leader, making impact? And I think that'll sum it up for all of us.
Before I say that, I just want to give a major thank you to my sister and my friend, Denella Clark. She goes out of her way for these children at Boston Arts Academy. I don't think people realize how motivated and dedicated she is to the children that attend that school. And so I just want to say thank you for the honor, and thank you for your leadership and your kindness, because I think it goes a long way. When you're leading in these spaces, I just want people to understand and realize the glam and the fame is not what helps people at all. It's what you do in government and policy. When you're making policy, speak to the people that it's going to actually affect. Not that I wake up every morning and I say, I think I want red curtains, and so I'm going to change the whole city and have red curtains because that's what Aisha wants. No, I want to hear what Jimmy wants. I want to hear what Hector wants. I want to hear what Denella wants. I want to hear from my constituents and what is driving them, what they want, because they elected me to speak on behalf of them, not speak on behalf of myself. And I think if people lead with that and understand that their constituents matter, and you didn't get there because you voted for yourself and won an election, you got there because people put you there. You have a obligation to constituents to listen to them and go back into the wherever you're leading to fight for those people. And I think we have gotten away from that. And once we start refocusing on constituents and listening to them, we'll have better government.
Well, we have a few reasons that we heard this morning why both Dr. Miller and also Hector are champions and moving in the space. And we didn't articulate it, but food is an art. Food prep and there's even well, never mind. There's a term that they use on social media when food looks good, but we won't say that here. But food is an art as well. And so Hector and Dr. Miller, thank both of you for taking your time to be here. Denella, thank you for all that you do in community and supporting these young people. A lot of the young people, we saw a young man from Boston last night that recorded here. We have the young sister actress who just got, I believe, the Emmy. And there's a lot of going on. There's a lot going on with Boston artists, exit fame on the rap side and whatnot. And so keep doing what you're doing, sis, and making this an environment, because we're going to need, Hector, food brings us together. The give back brings us together. And the arts, Denella, and God knows, Dr. Miller, we need some place to live and spaces for us to dwell, to eat the food, to rehearse and all that other stuff. And so with COVID and the impact that the hype of the impact is dissipating, the shock of it, the trauma of it, now the real impact of the long term, we hear this term, long COVID, all of that to say that everything that you all are doing is really needed now, but this is going to help counter a lot of what we saw happen in our community the last couple of years. So thank you, Hector. I'm not sure you had kind of faded out. I just want to offer you the last opportunity to say something, and then we're done. I really, Denella, thank you. Thank you. Hector, anything else? I think we still got the signal thing. Okay. Okay. We're cool, Hector. We're going to get ready to go. And thank all of you for being here. I'm going to go pay some bills. And Aisha,
Jimmy, thank you so much. We hope we're going to see you on March 21st.
March 21st is
your dance class is pretty busy. You're going to tell me your dance card is full, right?
That's anniversary weekend.
Oh yes.
Yes. And so I'll try to that evening. We'll talk.
Yeah.
Just anniversary weekend.
Just pop by.
All right. No, well, look, I was thinking the other day, and I'll be honest with you, I was going to tell somebody, I said, there's so much going on. I'm going to start just popping up in events like some of the do, and I'll leave that word blank.
Ooh, shade.
It's not shade, but I'm just saying, some things you do pop up and show your face, but something like that, you would want to stay.
Yeah.
Young people for the whole event. So I don't know if I'll pop up, but I'll figure a way as God blesses me at some point, Denella. I will be in a position to make a donation to the foundation. So absolutely. I got one left over from a couple of months ago that somebody pulled me on stage, and but I thank all of you for being here. And I really appreciate everything you do. Godspeed on the show. And also at the event at House of Blues. That is sold out. The event is sold out. You can see Aisha and Hector at the theater, but you can't see them at House of Blues. For more information about everything that's going on at the bostonartsacademy.org, go there to get the information. I'm sure there's a link to get to the foundation. I'm sure Denella has a donation button on the foundation's page. So click that. And if at any point in the comments or whatever, just say saw on Java with Jimmy, and we're supporting you. And again, thank all three of you for being here, and to Hector and Aisha, congratulations for all that both of you do in community. Thank all of you.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Have a good day. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Listen, everyone, that was one of my favorite shows. I joke with my sister Aisha, but it is just dope to have her in the room, and y'all see she you never have to wonder what she's thinking. And so, just in general, it's good to give people flowers while they can smell them. And so again, shout out to Hector and also to Dr. Miller as well. Hold on, a couple of messages here. Yes, you can still, Heidi, donate to Boston Arts Academy. As I just mentioned, you can go to this page here, and Denella does have a donate button on the Boston Arts Academy Foundation page. So please go and donate there, and just, mention you've seen on Java. But you also have your niece that graduated from there. Listen, we have some great things lined up for you this week as we're continuing to move in the vein of Women's History Month. Tomorrow, you're stuck with me, just Jimmy. We're going to check in And also on Thursday, we're going to speak with Chandra, who is the CEO of, I don't have the name in front of me, a construction company that is very much involved with the Parcel 3 that's going on down over across from the police headquarters. And then also on Thursday, the 14th, we're going to have Brother Melvin Murphy, who is a play producer, a young man that I've known, oh God, probably about 40 something years. And so he's a musician, he's a writer. And Angelina, I'm so glad to have you in here. Let me just get up a clip real quick and just celebrate my sister that is in the building. I got to see her this weekend. She is a powerhouse in this city. When it comes to you know how some people just are talented and performance is in her. It just not just the musicality of singing and whatnot, but just how she interacts with the crowd. Be a little shady to them when they have to, when they try to tell her what to do. But let me just get you a little bit of Miss Angelina and the unit here real quick before we get ready to go. The point I was making before I saw that comment, and it's so good to have you in the room over on Instagram. I forgot. I'm going to get ready to go. There's some things coming up this Friday night at 6 p.m. at Long Live Roxbury. We are having a event for a lot of our creatives in Boston called Creative Culture in Boston. We are having a live, rare acoustic set by Amandi Music. We're having a panel with Shar, Miguel, and also Idosa of Diaspora Mass that's taking place on Friday, and the debut of the Red Eye Java, a drink that's curated at Long Live Roxbury that has some caffeine in it and some undertones of cherry and dark chocolate. Puts you in the mind of a strong cherry Coke. It's not for the weak. So come out and try that on Friday. Somebody say it's free. We're starting off these Brewed by Jimmy or Brewed by Java events in a few places very soon. And so before we get ready to go, I just wanted to mention that. Don't forget the anniversary events for next week, the 21st at GBH, the 22nd at the Red Cup Awards back at Long Live Roxbury. And then on the 23rd, we are also going to be at Estella's for our day party. And so without further ado, I would like to invite you all to just observe about 48 seconds because I was so into it, I didn't record the whole thing. Angelina and the unit from Grace the other night. Here's just a little bit of it. Look. So that's just an example of what you can see going on at Grace by Nia almost every night. But there are some Wednesday nights once a month that I host there as well. Not this month. Nia is celebrating. She said, Jimmy, we're doing all women in March, but we'll be back there next month. And so that's just a sample. Whenever you see Angelina in the unit performing somewhere, please go out and support her. Don't forget to go to bostonartsacademy.org to support them, make a donation, and get tickets for the event that is coming up very soon. That's it for me. We will see you tomorrow morning. Just Jimmy. We're going to catch up on a few things. I have to give a special shout out. Some of you saw on social media, I had the opportunity yesterday to be the auctioneer and what I call the live funds solicitor. I can tell you for sure that yesterday we haven't got the final amount yet, but over $300,000 was raised for cancer. And the Ellie Fund is very special to me. They've supported my sister and also my aunt when they were in need dealing with the diagnosis of cancer. And so please donate to the Ellie Fund. And if you do, also highlight Java with Jimmy there. Because we also, as much as Dr. Miller talked about not being on social media and glam, there is an aspect to being able to point to impact. And so if you all are contributing and you hear about it in this space, just please note that, because we want to cite our impact. It's leading me to want to speak to something, but I'm not. But anyway, please remember our anniversary that's coming up. And also, I'm not going to get distracted, but just stay focused. I'll share that with you. Stay focused. Keep doing what you're doing to have impact in community, and you'll be good. I also want to shout out my good friend and brother, Mings, and the folks over Mings, and separately the folks over at Real Boston Media, who have been very supportive. There's a lot of new people in the Java Cafe over the past few days. And so we want to welcome you and thank you for tuning in. Comment, reach out to us, and, let us know how we're doing. Yes, Miss Teresa, I will eat. Pam, she said, I've created a monster. Listen, being a monster and raising, and last night was different. Last night was different. It was different. A little motivational talk today, brother. But yeah, last night was different. We started out, Pam is the one that got me in this at the Boston Education Development Fund event. We raised $19,000 in 5 minutes. Then at the One Love Sports Academy event, we raised about $9,800. That was about 15 minutes. But last night, it took a little bit longer. I did end before the time was over. In about a half an hour, we did the auction and we went back and did the fund solicitation. And I can tell you, families are going to be supported. All right. I'll just leave that right there. All right, everyone. We will see you Friday the 16th. Thank you, Michelle D. Smith, for being everybody. Please come to the start time is 6:00, Michelle, at Long Live Roxbury. Clips from the Ellie Fund. Yes, I have one clip from the Ellie Fund. Oh, yeah, I do. Shout out to Anissa for taking care of her brother. I just downloaded the pictures she sent me and I just seen them. All right, so this is one clip. I don't know what this is, Auntie. So we'll see what happens. There's the clip from Ellie.
She took care of my aunt, and I believe had some input on my sister, who is a survivor. My aunt is a survivor as well. And I think at some point we may want to look at.
So that wasn't the best clip, Auntie Java, but didn't get a bunch of clips. But it was definitely an awesome event. So much pink in the room, and so many of those that have championed, that are championing dealing with the diagnosis of cancer. And then that does not take away those who have who championed the fight. And even in their transition away from us, they're still champions. And so we're very selective in these spaces of language around things like died by suicide versus committed, and also not saying, lost the battle to certain diseases and whatnot. So we got to be selective about that. Queen is in the room. Good. I need to, can you reach out to Anissa? Because I want to interview your son. We're here talking about cancer. And there's a testimony in the Dickerson and King family in reference to this young man who championed coming through cancer at a very young age. And he's a whole personality in himself. Lord Jesus, I caught a couple of lives a couple of years ago, and they are hilarious. And so self-transition, Jimmy, we got to start using that. Self-transition. I never heard that before. Self-transition. I got to check with Toy to see, because she, she's the expert there. But I never heard of that. All right, brother. Good to see you in the room, as always. And thank you for the support. I'm getting off of here. For UCB, you all get 90 minutes. It's 10:03. So y'all get 90 minutes for your points today. I'm getting off of here. Auntie says, I thank God for the Ellie Fund and all their workers. So right there, that's the best way to wrap it up. Again, for all the folks that came into the room, through the support in partnership with the Real Boston Media. Welcome to the Java Cafe. We got some spicy stuff coming up for you all under the umbrella of Java After Dark very soon. So stay tuned for that. Don't forget to come out Friday night. Friday night's going to be lit, y'all. A neo soul creative culture at Long Live Roxbury. It's going to be dope. And how could I forget the vendor for food will be Boston's own owner of the Mix, but Lobster Kings will have lobster sliders on deck, chicken sliders on deck. And also I asked him if he could sell the macaroni and cheese and the what's the thing? The sweet potato, the yams, little wraps that he makes with the yam syrup or sauce or whatever on it. Good God from Zion. So that will be on sale. The event is free, but y'all gonna have to buy your drinks and your food. The entertainment is free, but you're gonna have to buy your drinks and your food. Have a great day, everybody. And we will see you guys tomorrow at 9 a.m. with Just Jimmy. All right, I think I got it queued up right. All right, I'm out of here, y'all. Peace.